Hey guys, how's it going? Let's add even more magic to our microservice written from scratch in a Java language without the help of an application server or a full Jakarta EE framework under the hood, just by selecting a bit more APIs or single specifications. And this time we want to add something that really is important for a lot of microservice these days, which is sending the answer not as HTML like I did so far, but sending it using JSON, because machine-to-machine communication these days is often performed by exchanging messages or documents in JSON. And we don't have to change too much actually. As you have seen already, we have a greeting sent back from our get method, and the greeting actually is not HTML. In one of the earlier videos of this series, I have shown you how I turned the greeting from being a record into an HTML result by bundling our message body writer, which is receiving these record set and returns handwritten HTML. So very sophisticated handwritten HTML. So we don't want this. We don't want the MIME type text HTML. So what do I have to change to make this work? So first step, let's run it. And when we run it, we don't click on the link. We don't open a browser, but we want to use something different. We want to use curl this time. And let me give curl the URL. And so here it is, and let's see the result in full length. And you can see we are getting HTML. So let's send a header. That's not wide enough. So now you can read better, or even a bit more. Let's send a header. It's the accept header. And the accept header tells the server what MIME type we actually want to have. And we want to have application JSON. So what happens? It tells us this is not acceptable because it doesn't know how to create JSON. One point is that our implementation, which is working under the hood, which is Jersey, has no clue how to create JSON until we tell it how to do that. So let's do that. Let's go here and add another Jersey module. Oh, where to put it? Let's go here. I just copy this module, which is the server itself, and I'm providing another module which is media JSON B, I think. Oh no, I'm wrong. It's JSON binding, and I have to change this one to media. Correct? That should be correct. Yeah, it is. In case you wonder why I don't have to add a version number, by the way, just to remember from one of the older videos, I'm going with this import of a BOM, a bill of materials. So I provide the version just a single time. Here it is loading a small POM file. In the POM files there is information for Maven that says use that very same version for everything in that imported POM file, and inside of the POM file there is or everything, all the modules from Jersey. So that's why I don't have to repeat it here. So this is the support for JSON binding inside of Jersey. By the way, there's also JSON-P, which is JSON processing, which is used by JSON-B internally. We could also do that. I don't see a big need for a separate video showcasing JSON processing inside of JAX-RS, because the binding one is much more like you would write JAX-RS applications. So please mind if I don't go into the details of JSON-P, but I always stay with JSON-B now. Anyways, this is not a video about JSON. This is a video about your microservice from scratch. And so I only show you a very small example what you can do with JSON-B, and please check out longer tutorials about the full set of JSON-B features if you're interested in how to turn this into a production grade server. So having said that, let's go back and do something. So the first thing we want to do is we check if that was enough. And I'm pretty sure it was not. I restarted the server. I'm starting curl again. Sorry, it has a different port number because my code is written in a way that it always starts with a guaranteed free number. So it's always a different number. And now we have an exception on the server side. And why is that the case? And don't be scared if you see stack traces. Stack traces are really helpful if you want to find out what actually happened. And in this case, the very first line is already the answer. It says it has writing problems in JSON-B. It cannot serialize the object that we have. And the object that we have is this greeting record. And let's make it public. So CDI, so that JSON-B can actually access it. We start it again. I really have problems with typing today. Maybe I have too many rings on my fingers, so they're sticky. They're too heavy to type faster. Yeah, and start. Again, the same problem. Sorry. We have to change the number. That's the case why you actually should go with automated tests. With automated tests, you could inject the number of the port, but I don't want to show you how great automated tests are. I want to show you what to do to make JSON-B work in your microservice. So yeah, it's fine. It says 200 okay, and we see this empty greeting here. So there is not much we can do more in our application because it's already running. We have an empty greeting. If you don't trust that this is everything to do, we could, for example, send more parameters. Yeah, if we send more parameters, then we have more data in the greeting, and then you would see more than just an empty JSON. So let's go with that idea. That's a brilliant idea. The sole thing we have to do to send a parameter is that we add a query parameter, because this is how this demo application was actually written right from scratch. So let's add it here, query parameters. What is called greeting or message? Let's see. The query parameter was called greeting. Okay. It's too long ago. Greeting is no, hello. We always have hello. Yeah. Let's go with Marcus again. I'm running out of good demo data. So let's have this HTTP call going now. Oh, this. Yes. This is happening when this terminal is not wide enough. Then actually it tells you there are characters missing and you type it, but there actually aren't. So okay, it's working now, and you can see 200 okay, and here is your message, your greeting in perfectly well formatted JSON. So actually there is not much to do. Remember to add this one in Jersey, which is made up from multiple modules. You have a module for JSON binding, just enable it at runtime, and in your application simply make your classes public so they can get accessed, and that's it. Let's see what happened when we do it. Just protected. Let's start it again. Next time I really should go with automated tests. And it's still working. So this is one tip I wanted to give you. In most examples that you see on the web, people like me always go with public, and the reason is that there are several reasons. Reason number one, you're used to. A lot of people are used to writing public. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Reason number two is a lot of frameworks or APIs will not work with other scopes. So I will always go with the private scope normally, so they won't work. So it's a safe base to go with public. But in production code, and this is really an ultimate tip from me, in production code I always go with private, and I only open it as far as I really need to. So if this would be production code, I would go with protected here. I wouldn't go with private because it's not working. I wouldn't go with public because once it is public, other classes can access it. And there's a risk, and really believe me, it is huge, that your colleagues will write Java code accessing your class. And you may not have taken care about that. So you might end up in a situation where you can't go back from public on one hand because it's used, and on the other hand you can modify your code because you would break their code. So always be on the safe side in production code. So that's why I tested if you can go with protected here. My tip is go with protected here until you actually have to open it to public. Anyway, that has nothing to do with JSON-B in microservices, but it's a general tip. So far for this short series about how you can add more magic to your microservice written from scratch in Java. Well, the last light went out because the batteries are low, so it's time to finish this microservice here, unless there are more ideas what we can do with our code, and I already have some in the back of my head. So stay tuned, and as always, party on.